Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the men of GMS, who rule and teach impeccably well. They got the absolute 144% truth. And I want to say peace, love, and mercy and safety to the hopeful elect. Because none of us know if we are the elect or not. All right. We're going to find out when that day comes. All right. If you're beamed up into the chariot, all right. If you're the first ones risen, all right, you're going to be the elect. Okay. But the topic of this lesson is going to be, I was watching this video from Hebrew Israelite Yahawada Slakia. I should be able to pronounce that easily. Yahawada. All right. Hebrew Israelite Yahawada. All right. It says, behold, you could also watch this one too, Children of Israel. All right. It's basically the same video, just on a different channel. All right. It says, behold, the topic, not the topic, the title of the video is, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken the cup. All right. And it says, the king who murdered 10 million people. Okay. It says the white man. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. All right. I got it right here. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. And I'm going to bring out some precepts, laying back off of it. All right. All right.
When was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. We have assuredly drunken out of the face out your judgment, Jew.
Mark invited the rest of Western Europe to the Berlin Conference. The task? To carve up the map of Africa with total disregard for cultural, political, ethnic, or linguistic differences, and without a single African at the table. Among other things, this led to one of the greatest mass murders in history by the king of one of Europe's smallest states. Here's how it happened.
One of the greatest mass murders. These are the things that I want you to know. Remember, the Congolese are Israelites. Many of them didn't even make it onto the slave ships. But they are Israelites, the Congolese. Just like the Senegalese people from Senegal. And a lot of them didn't make it onto the slave ships. They faced their judgment. They drunk out of the cup. They assuredly drunk out of the cup. So, when Esau arrived,
the leaders of the Berlin Conference hoped that by chopping Africa up and deciding artificial and arbitrary lines among themselves, they could avoid fighting with each other over who owned what, and could civilize local populations with Christianity. While unexplored countries were
white Jesus, again, just to show you again what this devil used, white Jesus to destroy us, to enslave us. White Jesus, Christianity, the churches that they fill out, that's what they use to kill us with. They're white Jesus, Christianity, Catholicism, church. Anyway.
Given mostly to nations, there was one exception. It's the country now called the Democratic Republic of Congo, but at the Berlin Conference, it was named the Congo Free State.
Let's see where it is? Right there on the west coast. The Congolese are Israelites, but many of them didn't make it to the slave ships. But they still faced the judgment. They still drunk out of the cup that the Lord gave us. And if these devils think they're not going to drink out of that cup as well.
At the Berlin Conference, it was named the Congo Free State and handed over as the personal property of Belgium's King Leopold II. He agreed to send over Christian missionaries and turn the territory into a free trade area for all of Europe, as well as to help the local population. But the Congo Free State became anything but free for the people that lived there. A worldwide boom in rubber meant that Leopold II could cash in big time, but tapping rubber from trees was back-breaking work. So to source enough labor, Leopold effectively turned all of the Congo into a slave plantation.
You hear that? He turned all of the Congo into a slave plantation. We were made slaves in the continent of what we know today as Africa, and we were made slaves in the Americas and the West Indies by these Edomites. Those people you see on the screen are Israelites that just didn't make it to the slave ships, but went through the same horrific treatment, degradation, slavery that we went through in the West Indies and in the Americas. Listen carefully.
The labor policy was known by some as the Red Rubber System, and it was designed to maximize extraction. The system was enforced by the Force Publique, Leopold's private colonial army, a 19,000-man military with white officers and black soldiers from as far as Zanzibar, Nigeria.
That's what they do. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. That's how this Edomite operates. He'll always be in control. He'll divide and conquer and use our own people against our own people. But he's gonna pay. He's gonna pay.
Liberia, and even the Congo. Many of the soldiers had been kidnapped in raids on villages in their childhood and brought to Roman Catholic missions where they received military training.
Hear that? They kidnapped them, brought them to Roman Catholic missionaries, and then they brainwashed them with white Jesus. Same thing that they put us in these churches. Same thing that they brainwashed us with in these churches by sending us to these Catholic, Protestant, Seventh-day Adventist, Black Pentecostal, Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormon Church, Jehovah's Witness Church. White Jesus is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And that's what they use to brainwash us, to pit us against each other, to make one side feel more of a uplifted, more highly in society than the other side. But this man is going to have to pay. He's going to have to pay. So listen carefully.
They were armed with modern weapons and the chikot, a bullwhip made of hippopotamus hide. Villagers were asked to meet insane rubber quotas. If a village didn't meet its targets, the military were expected to take hostages and shoot them. Women in villages were often held hostage or raped to speed up.
Hear that? Often held hostages and raped to speed up production. Women who didn't meet their quotas, they used bullwhips made of hippopotamus hide. Lord willing, boy, this devil boy. And the women that didn't meet their quotas, they raped them. Rape. You women there that are out there dating these crackers, these Edomites. Dating your slave masters. You women of Israel.
A bullwhip made of hippopotamus hide. Villagers were asked to meet insane rubber quotas. If a village didn't meet its targets, the military were expected to take hostages and shoot them. Women in villages were often held hostage or raped to speed up production. Severed limbs of villagers had to be produced as evidence that each bullet fired had been used to kill a villager.
Severed limbs. They severed the limbs. If you didn't meet your quota, cut off your arm, your hand, your foot, your ears, your nose. You're telling me this man is not the devil? You still believe these Edomites are not the devil that the Bible speaks of? And remember, this took place just 136 years ago. 136 years ago. Oh, Lord willing, boy.
Often held hostage or raped to speed up production. Severed limbs of villagers had to be produced as evidence that each bullet fired had been used to kill a villager. So, if a soldier missed a shot, they would often cut off the hand of an innocent victim just so they could produce a limb to show their superiors.
Yeah, look at that. That's what they did to you, Israel. To show their superiors, they would cut off limbs. They would produce a limb to show their superiors. These are children you're looking at, you know. Take a breath and look what you're looking at. These are children you're looking at. This is what Esau did to the children of Israel, to the actual children of Israel. And they believe they're not going to pay. Behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. We have assuredly drunken out of that cup. He gonna have to pay. He gonna have to pay.
If individuals in a village refused to work, they were beaten or shot, and the village was razed to the ground. The red rubber system led to the collapse of economic and cultural life for the Congolese. A system so cruel that female hostages often starved while men were worked to death. Those that tried to flee into forests often died of hunger. Tens of thousands were shot in failed uprisings, and because farming had been disrupted, local Congolese were susceptible to famine and disease. The precise figures are not known, but estimates suggest that between 1880 and 1920, at least 10 million people, or 50% of the entire population, died.
50% of the population. This is just in the Congo. So 10 million Israelites were killed between 1880 and 1920 just in the Congo. These are the Israelites that didn't make the slave ships. Can you see the brass of iron around their necks? Around their ankles? Around their wrists? These were the Israelites that didn't make the slave ships. Do they really believe? Do these devils really believe that they're not going to pay for what they did? The scripture tells us, right? Deuteronomy 28:23, and thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. That's what you're seeing. The heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. That's what's on their necks, their ankles, and their wrists. Do they believe they're not going to pay? So when I see our people still in those white supremacy, Christianity, Catholic, Protestant churches, they sicken me. With these white pastors and these sellout black pastors trying to sell them white Jesus, it sickens me to the gut. 10 million they killed. They killed 10 million Israelites. And this is just one country, Congo, that didn't make it to the slave ships. Between 1880 and 1920, that's 40 years. In the space of 40 years, they killed 10 million of our people. Oh, Lord.
Leopold II never set foot in the Congo. But aside from murdering half of its population, he also imported 267 men, women, and children to set up a human zoo on the grounds of his country estate in Belgium. There, they were displayed behind a fence and assigned to zoo visitors which read, "Don't feed the animals." Horror stories from missionaries eventually spread to Europe, and Leopold was forced to sell the Congo Free State to the Belgian government in 1908. The red rubber system was outlawed. But even though labor practices weren't as brutal as they were under Leopold II, many of his racist and exploitative practices continued to be implemented. The administration that ran the Congo Free State wasn't even replaced. 50 years after Leopold's human zoo, Belgium built another mock African village in a 1958.
Created a human zoo for you, Israel. They had you in a human zoo in Europe, in Belgium, parading you to their fellow Edomites. A human zoo parading you to their fellow Edomites. That's how low we fell under these devils.
But even though labor practices weren't as brutal as they were under Leopold II, many of his racist and exploitative practices continued to be implemented. The administration that ran the Congo Free State wasn't even replaced. 50 years after Leopold's human zoo, Belgium built another mock African village at a 1958 Belgium World Fair. The Congolese who traveled to Belgium thought they were part of a cultural exchange, but they found themselves part of a live display behind a fence. 52 years after Belgium took control of the country, the Congo won its independence in 1960. Despite Belgium's bloody history in the Congo, Belgians were taught that their country had brought civilization to Africa and that Leopold was a foundational figure for decades. Streets and parks have been named after him, and statues of him exist around the country. But in recent years, this narrative has come under fire. In the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests, young Belgians protested Leopold II's statues. And for the first time in 112 years, Belgium's King Philippe expressed regret for the suffering and humiliation his nation inflicted on the region. But he still didn't go as far as to apologize for the atrocities.
still didn't go as far to apologize for his atrocities. You hear
on
that?
the region. But he still didn't go as far as to apologize for the atrocities.
Didn't apologize.
That's what I'm gonna get into, man. All right, these Christians, these so-called Edomite, so-called white Christians, these Edomites, all right, who think themselves to be worshiping the true God, which the true God's name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son's name, which who the world ignorantly calls, who they call Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahweh Shai, they're not white men, okay? They're so-called black men, all right? Melanated skinned men, all right? Dark-skinned men with woolly hair, okay? Okay. This Bible is not for you Edomites, you white people, man. You so-called white people, man, okay? It's for the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the true biblical Israelites, the true Lord's people, okay? Those people in our land, the land of Israel, all right, right now, are not the Lord's people, all right? Those are bastards according to the scripture, all right? Those are Edomites from the tribe of Amalek, all right? The grandson of Esau, okay? Okay? And this guy said, this guy failed to, how he said, to apologize, man, all right? And these people, they don't believe that they're gonna, that they're not gonna, and he said, they don't think that they're not gonna get recompense, right? Pay for the things that they've done to the Lord's people, man. All right, and that's just one thing that happened. All right, in these, in this captivity that we're in, man, with the white man and rulership. That's just one region on Earth, the Congo. Okay, and that's just one time. All right, this is just one era. All right, we've been in multiple captivities, man, all around the world. Okay, under the Assyrians, under Esau, under the Grecians, under the Romans, under Egypt, under the Persians, under even ourselves, man, the wicked of our nation. Okay, all right, and we're yet this day in our captivity, man. Okay, and these people, these heathens, these Edomites, even the wicked of our nation, they're going to pay for the things that they've done to the nation of Israel, to the Lord's chosen people. And watching that video, I was thinking to myself, I can't imagine seeing my loved ones, having those things happen to my loved ones in front of my face, okay? That would just destroy me, man. All right, that would destroy just myself, man. And those things have happened to us in our past lives, man. Okay, we've gone through those things, man. Okay, getting our limbs chopped off, getting hung, getting burnt alive, getting tortured. All right, dying of disease, pestilence, dying of no drink, no lack of food and water, getting beaten and whipped, okay, and many more things, okay, that happened to us, me and you. If you're an Israelite listening to this, man, all right, that has happened to us, man, in our past lives. And yes, reincarnation is biblical, all right, and it's not what you think, as these heathens speak of it, all right. Reincarnation is through your father's seed line, all right? And these heathens, they like to say, oh, that wasn't me, I didn't do that, so I don't have to apologize. And that's what this Edomite, he didn't want to apologize, man, all right? Because that's their excuse, all right? In their spirit, they know that they have to and they will pay for the things that they've done in their past lives, man, okay? And what their forefathers did in their past lives, okay? Because those same people that you see walk down the street, in your job, in your day-to-day at the gym, okay? Okay? Those are the same people who whipped you, okay? Who killed your family members, who enslaved you, okay? Who fed you to dogs, okay? Who put you in human zoos, who chopped your limbs off, all right? In front of your family members, who raped your family members in front of you, man. All right, and just laughed at you and left you guys for dead, all right? Those things happen, man, okay? And those same spirits, they're back today, okay? And they don't even know, okay? And I'm gonna get that, man, all right? I'm not just bringing this, pulling this out of my behind, okay? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Do I want this? This is the book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 18. It says, the Lord is long-suffering, okay, and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression. Slack you. And by no means clearing the guilty, all right, you Edomites, you heathens, our enemies, all right, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity, all right, transgression, the sin, all right, okay, the wicked acts that you've done to our people, man, okay, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Why? Because you have been on this earth before in a different body through your father's seed line, okay? All right, you were alive, then you begot your son, and then your son begot his son, then his son begot his son, and then his son begot you again. Okay? That's why it says visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Okay? Because that's you coming, that third, because it's, it's you. And then, it's your great-grandpa, then your grandpa, and then your father, then you, and then your son is going to be your great-grandpa. Then his son is going to be your grandson is going to be your grandpa, and your grandson's son is going to be your father, and your great-grandson's son is going to be you. Okay, back again, unless you live through that, and then it's his son will be you. Okay. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 11. There is no remembrance. There is no remembrance of former things. All right. You don't remember what you did in your past life, man. But yet at the same time, you're being judged for the wicked things. All right. The things that you've done in your past life. Okay. That's why you have all these, these, it seems like coincidences, like, dang, why the hell am I going through this? What the hell happened to me for me to deserve this? Why are people being born blind? Why are people being born already suffering out the womb? It's because of the sins of their past life, all right? All right? Whoever perished being innocent, nobody, not even a young little 2-week-old newborn. All right? That's death, all right? For the things that spirit has done in their past lives, okay? Nobody perishes being innocent, man. You're being judged for the things that you've done in your past life and right now, in this life, okay? There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after, okay? So you're not going to remember the things that you're doing now in this life the next time you come back on the scene, okay? Because the Lord has wiped that. He's put that amnesia on us, man. All right? Because if you remember all the things, what would be the point of us remembering everything that we did, you know? Well, you know, it'd just be no point, man, okay? So the Lord had to do that, okay? This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, speaking about Esau, okay? And the things that he's done to our people. That's why the Lord is preparing slaughter. All right, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their what? Of their fathers. And what their fathers do? And why is it about their fathers? It's because they are their forefathers, man. They're back on the scene, okay? You are who your father is, man, all right? Through the third and fourth generation, okay? For the iniquity of their fathers, okay? And what did these Edomites' fathers do? All right, their forefathers do? They did all those atrocious acts to our people, man, okay? All right, and these Edomites may be nice now, all right? Black Lives Matter, you know, they might be cool now. You know, they're not enslaving us as they used to. Slakia. They may be nice and cool now, but those are the same spirits. Those are the same people that had you in chains, that had you being buck broken, all right? Enslaved, man, all right? And killing tens and millions of us, man, okay? That's why it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, okay? Because you're going to pay for the things that you've done. You just don't remember what you did, all right? You just don't know that was you back then, okay? And we're telling you that was you because the Lord has revealed us all things, okay? That they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities, okay? Esau, you're going to be done away with, okay? Because your time of wickedness has had its time, it's at its end, okay? This is chapter, it's like, yeah, there's another, yeah, okay. Obadiah chapter 1, well, there's only one chapter in Obadiah. Obadiah 8, verse 18, it says, and the house of Jacob, all right, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau, the so-called white man, for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. All right. What is this scripture saying? All right. This is speaking about in the future when the kingdom of heaven is set up and Esau is done building up the kingdom of heaven. All right. The first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven and him being under our rule, under, you know, being our slaves. We're going to do away with him, man. We're going to gather all the Edomites up in the world and dig a big ditch, okay, and burn them all up. And there's going to be, what does it say? And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath spoken it. That's not happening now or very soon. It's going to happen right after the first day, the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven, okay? When Esau's done being enslaved under us, the Israelites, okay? That's what he's going to get. That's what's coming for him, man, all right? Why? Because wickedness, all right? Wickedness has ran its course. This is Obadiah 3 verses down. Chapter 1, verse 15, the same chapter. For the day of the Lord is near, okay, upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head, okay.